All right, guys, it's 9:05, so it's about that time to kick off the workout, okay? So, starting off with today's work, we're gonna be completing 3 rounds of 2 major core movements, all right? So, those core movements that we're hitting, bent hollow hold, and then we're gonna be going for a side plank, all right? So, right now, Jay's gonna demo our bent hollow hold, all right? So, lying flat on his back, his knees are starting off stacked right over his hips. So, he's got a nice 90-degree angle to start, all right? From here, Jay wants to take his toes, point them towards the wall away from him, and start to float his knees forward. Perfect. Now, at this point, his angle is nice and long at his lower body, so his core is really engaging. But at this point, he wants to reach his fingertips towards his heels. Perfect. Now, at this point, Jay's lower back is being pressed into the floor. Shoulder blades are off. All he has to do at this point is just breathe through his nose and out through his mouth, because, you know, I'm not going to resuscitate you today, all right? Perfect. All right, rest it down. So next, moving up, we have a side plank. All right, so Jay's gonna flip on over. Perfect. Show you guys his nice, beautiful face. From here, Jay's taking on the side plank position. His elbow is stacked right underneath his shoulder. Again, so from here, from top shoulder all the way down to his elbow is a nice straight line. Feet are stacked right on top of one another. His hip is nice and far forward, so he's nice and engaging. And he's got a nice straight line from top to bottom. All right, that's gonna come in handy later on throughout the workout. Rest down. So, for today's work, we're going to be going for timed intervals for each exercise. We're doing 45 seconds for the hollow hold, and then we're going to go 45 seconds per side of our side plank. Cool? Sweet. All right, here we go. So Jay's going to start up in his hollow hold position. So knees are up, perfect. Going to glide those heels forward, pointing those toes, reaching forward. We're starting up in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Right now, Jay's controlling his breath, right? Breathing in through his nose, out through his mouth. The whole entire time, people often want to hold their breath, right? That makes this movement way more uncomfortable than it already is. It's already engaged our core. We're not trying to tax our lungs, all right? So, breathing in through his nose, out through his mouth. Pressing his lower back into the floor. He's looking good so far. He's 25 seconds in, unfortunately. He's got 20 more to go, all right? So, we're just gonna look at Jay suffering for a little bit more. You guys are looking great. 15 more seconds. Nice job, Jay. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right. So let's flip it on to our side plank. We're going right into it. In 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right. So right now, Jay's looking good. I'm actually going to have you lift your hips up a little bit higher. Perfect. Right there. Now, oftentimes when we do something like a side plank, right, we can drop our hips a little bit too low. We start to look like a boat, right? If our butt's down, we're putting a lot of pressure on our lower back. We want to bring it up, right? That core stability from the front of our core to our lower back, right? It's going to make sure that we don't have that pain during this movement, right? So right now, Jay's squeezing his glutes, squeezing his core, keeping that breath nice and tight. Looking good. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Let's flip over to the side. All right. And he's up and at him. 45 more seconds here. Doing perfect again. Keeping a nice straight line. Again, he's as flat as a surfboard right now. So, from his top shoulder all the way down to his heel. Nice straight line is what we want at this point. Still engaging that breath. Hips are nice and forward. He's not looking too bad right now. We'll see how he does in the 2 more rounds. You're looking good. You're looking good. Almost there. 10 more seconds. There you go. Breathe. That's it. That's it, Jay. Perfect. Jay's in his Zen mood this morning, so he needs to breathe. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Rest it down. So we're going to take a quick little recovery. What are you feeling, Jay? 15 seconds? We'll go for about 30 seconds to the rest of the recovery here, all right? So give his core a nice little breather. Again, this little work is really feeling good for us right now. Getting everything nice and warm, the blood is flowing. So we're gonna go through 2 more rounds after our rest, after we're done resting, and then we'll keep kicking it, all right? Awesome. He's super excited.
Let's go.
Awesome. Okay, here we go. So, starting off with that bent hollow hold position, all right? So, knees are stacked, floating forward, reaching forward, And we're on the clock, 45 seconds here. Perfect. So at this point, Jay's angle at his legs, right? It's a great big angle, okay? So he barely has any bend in his knees. This is putting a lot of pressure on his core, right? If at some point he does get tired, he can bring his knees slightly more towards himself. That's going to decrease the angle, make it a little bit less difficult, okay? So if at some point you guys need to take that regression, go for it. You're almost there, Jay. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Rest it down. Let's flip it over. Side plank position, starting up. Awesome. So again, Jay's right back into that proper positioning. Again, shoulders are stacked, nice and over his elbow. Feet are stacked as well. Pulling his belly button in towards his spine. Squeeze his glutes. Again, once you guys engage your glutes, directly wraps into your lower back. All right. So if you guys disengage your glutes, you guys might feel a little bit of instability, right? So squeeze your glutes, pulls into your lower back. You guys can be nice and tight. Almost there, Jay. Awesome. 2, 1. Let's flip it on over. All right. So we're going on to the next side. 45 more seconds here, and we're starting up. Again, same exact positioning. Jay typically tends to have perfect form, so I don't think we have anything correct on this time around, but I'm going to tell him move his hips slightly forward. Perfect, right there. So you guys were able to look at Jay from my view, right? You would have seen his butt back a little bit more, so his so it looked more like a boomerang, right? So he pulled his hips forward. Again, that's going to help engage his core throughout this movement, giving him a little bit more bang for his buck. Jay, I talk a lot. Okay, so you got about 10 more seconds, all right? A little bit of time in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. So we're gonna rest down for another 30 seconds. We're then gonna kick off the final round, and then we're gonna be moving into block number 2. So one more round, guys. Hopefully you guys are feeling good. I really can't see the comments, but you know, DJ Pauliello is jamming over there. He's tapping his heel, hands in the air waving. He's feeling good. He's feeling good this morning. Oh, wait. You're so bad. You're so bad. All right, you ready? All right, last round, everybody. It's gonna be a good one. Okay, so Jay starting off, hold position, all right? Perfect. So toes are forward, reaching as far forward as you can, being sure to keep that lower back down. Now, oftentimes, when we go throughout this movement, we might reach a little bit too far forward. So show him what it might look like when we reach a little bit too far forward. Perfect. So he's right there, and his upper back is off the floor, shoulder blades are off. So he wants to make sure he keeps his lower back planted. Exactly. So people might have a position like that, right? He wants to make sure that he keeps his lower back firmly pushed into the floor, only pushing his shoulder blades off. So upper back is pushing off, but for the most part, his lower back is staying down to the floor. Great. I like that. That was really good. Acting skills, impeccable. Got about 5 more seconds, all right? 3, 2, 1. All right. Let's flip it into that side plank position, all right? So last little bit of core work. Starting up in 2, 1. Here we go. Now, at this point, Jay's nice and strong. He's not fatiguing at all. Oftentimes, we might start to fatigue. The hip might start to sink down a little bit. If this does happen, Jay, let's show him that option, right? Cross leg forward. Perfect. So at this point, this might be something you guys might want to take on. So the cross leg is in the front. Jay's still able to basically extend his hips up through his bottom leg right through here, while bracing himself through this front leg and still engaging through his core. I'm gonna have him hold this last little bit. Perfect. There you go. Three, 2, 1. Awesome. Let's flip it on over. Last 45 seconds here. Jay looking like a break dancer on his mat. Perfect. Awesome. He's up. So again, 45 more seconds here. Enjoy the relax. Working that lateral core, keeping nice and tight, still squeezing your glutes. Again, keeping up that breathing, even while he's in the side plank position. Again, we don't want to necessarily hold our breath this whole entire way. We want to control it in through your nose, out through your mouth. Making sure lungs expand open and close at the same time. Still got a little bit of time, Jay. 15 more seconds. There you go. You guys can't see Jay's face, but it's like pleasant pain. He looks happy, but he's also in a little bit of pain at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Rest it down. All right, so 3 rounds are in. Coming up next, we have our block. We have our second block for the day. All right, that's going to be more of our lower body focus. But for right now, let's grab some water, and we'll bring you guys back in a few seconds. All right, not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's Paul's jam, apparently. So he's really getting into it at this point. Head starts banging, you know? Gets it going. Oh, Jay's sweating. Paul's sweating because of the beats. I'm sweating because I'm not the best at these live things, but it's okay. We're doing it. You can't see. I'm not too sure if you guys can see Jay's moves, but they're pretty good. All right. So, kicking off your second block for the day, right? We're going to be completing 2 to 4 rounds of 3 major movements, all right? So, we're going to go glute bridge for 30 reps, split squat for 10 reps on each side, and then we're doing a squat walk-up for 10 reps total, all right? So, Jay, let's take it down into that glute bridge, all right? So, he's lying in the supine position. Again, supine means you're lying on your back. Again, supine, spine. On your back, right? So right through here, Jay's at a pretty good setup. I'm gonna have his bring his heels in a little bit closer to each other. Perfect. Walk your feet back just a little bit more towards your butt. Perfect. So at this point, his heels are slightly out in front of his knees. You guys can also have them like underneath your knees. Depends on what's comfortable for you. But from here, Jay's gonna drive his hips up into the ceiling, get that nice squeeze up to the top. He's gonna bring it back down, and then bring it back up once more. Now from here, I'm gonna have you hold this, all right? So from here, Jay's hips are up, so he's engaging at his hamstrings, squeezing at his glutes, still bracing his core, but he's also pinning his upper back, his shoulder blades into the floor. So that's his position, driving from the heels, pinning at the upper back. He's gonna do 30 reps here. Rest it down, dude. Not too bad. There you go. Okay, so he's then gonna bring it up at the top. We're gonna do some split squats, okay? Perfect. So I'm gonna take you on a side profile. Perfect. So split stance position, nice and wide, perfect. So from right here, Jay is having great posture. His neck is nice and long, shoulders away from the ears, shoulder blades are gonna be packed into his back pocket. Nice broad chest from here, drop the knee down, perfect. And then coming back up to the top, and then back down, and then up. So working on a little bit of stability. You might see Jay's a little bit off balance, right? So he's gotta keep his core braced. He's just gonna drop it down, and then come up the top. Perfect. A little bit of unilateral work to get him moving. Awesome. And then we have our squat walk-up. Jay's favorite kind of movement because, it involves a lot of mobility. For those guys who don't know Jay loves mobility. All right. So Jay's going to start up in that standing up at the top. Perfect. Or the plank, doesn't matter. But so right now, holding a nice stable plank. Feet are nice and wide. He's going to walk his feet in. All right. Now from here, you guys are gonna notice his hips were kind of high, back kind of rounded. Now from here, he's gonna drop his butt down, bring his hands up, squat up at the top. Perfect. He's gonna move his body back down, touch the floor, walk it up. Perfect. Walk it back in, drop, and up the top. All right, so a squat down, walk out, walk back in, that is 1. You guys can do a bit of a variation. So if you guys get a little bit excited, feeling a little froggy this morning, you guys can do a jump. So let's show them a jump out and then jump back in, all right? So Jay touches down, jumps out, jumps back in, perfect, up the top, a lot of enthusiasm. So you guys can do a little bit of a variation. Walk it out, walk it back in, jump it out, and jump it back. Either way, as long as you guys complete your 10 reps, okay? So quick recap, 30 reps of a glute bridge, 10 reps on each side of a split squat, 10 reps of a squat walk-up. We're gonna go for about 2 rounds today with you guys. Again, if you guys wanna do extra, what we say, they can do it on their own. You guys can pause this video later on, maybe do those 2 to 5, all right? So we're gonna drop it down to that glute bridge, everybody. Okay, so we're starting off with 30 reps. Jay, you mind counting this in your head for me? Let me know when you're at the 10, 20, and 30 rep count. Bye. Awesome. So Jay's coming up on the halfway mark. Form's looking great. Driving his heels into the floor, pitting his upper back into the mat, tossing those hips forward. He's looking good so far. Have nothing to correct. As always, he's darn near perfect. Perfect. 10 more. Here we go. You got it. Getting a nice squeeze of the glutes up the top. Perfect. Perfect. Jay's not only good at working up, he's also good at counting as well. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go 10% of the split squat. All right, so that split stance position, drop that knee down, keeping those shoulders away from the ears. Again, all I like to say, shoulders towards the ear are poison, right? We want to keep our neck nice and long. Shoulder blades are stacked and tacked into the back pocket. Even though Jay's not really typically trying to think about his posture, he wants to bring that in during this movement. You never want to have that posture while you're working out. Perfect. So you got 10 on his one side, he's flipping over to the opposite side, 10 over there as well. Perfect. Looking really good. Getting a nice, solid drive from the front leg. So he's not really bowing over. Again, his foot's not caving in or caving out. He's gripping that floor with that tripod foot at this point. Perfect. All right. So at this point, 10 squat walk-ups. All right, let's do it. Let me know when you're at your 5th rep. All right. So again, a squat walk-up, things we like to do, right, is works on basically your proper squat mechanics, right? So oftentimes we're really rounded at our lower backs, right, when we go into our squats. The squat walk-up, you're gonna notice once Jay walks in, rounded back, boom, straight into that nice long neck, straight back. Oh, and he's tossed it in some hops. Again, Jay's feeling a little bit froggy, so if at some point you guys want to switch up your reps and go into this little bit of a plyometric movement, go for it. Sweet. All right, so we're gonna take a quick breather, all right? So it's always good to catch your breath during these movements, right? We're all about the quality of our sets over the quantity of them, right? So oftentimes we really wanna kind of push the pedal to the metal, really force ourselves to get that heart rate up, to spike it. Not necessarily what we're looking to do for these particular sets, right? We want to be sure that we can breathe. We can come back to our next set as strong as we were in our first set. So be sure to take adequate rest, whatever that means for you, and then come into it with a full gas tank. You ready? All right. Round number 2, everybody. Starting off with some glute bridges. 30 reps. Jay, you know what? Let me know every 10, 20, and 30. Here we go. So again, at this point, Jay's getting a nice drive from his lower body, right? His heels are being forced into the floor. Oftentimes when we want to engage a little bit more, we might want to lift our toes off the floor, all right? That little extra bit of heel force, right? Boom. Engage our glutes a little bit more. Again, working towards that summer bod. Even though we're in quarantine, we're at 10. Even though we're at quarantine right now, doesn't mean we can't work on those goals that we want for the summer, right? So keep on working hard till you're looking good so far, right? Awesome. So at this point, you guys are going to notice that Jay's head, right? He's not really straining his neck forward. Oftentimes, we really start to get really tight and uncomfortable. We start to lift our head off the ground and push our neck forward. We want to keep our neck nice and relaxed. Oftentimes, if you guys have an issue with keeping that neck nice and relaxed, we always tell you, give yourself a double chin. Push yourself into retraction. Perfect. All right, so setting back up at the top. 10 more split squats, all right? Perfect. So again, Jay's got nice, great form. Again, you guys are often finding yourself off balance. Jay's taking a little bit of a narrow stance with his lunge because he is really, really good at this exercise, right? You guys are having an issue with that. We often tell you guys that back leg that is kind of crossed over to that heel, take a step out. A little bit wider stance at that base is going to give you guys a little bit more stability. If you guys are still having an issue with it, feel free to grab a broomstick or something to hold on to during this movement, right? Perfect. Jay's quads are lighting up. Looking pretty slowly at this point, if I do say so myself. Awesome. So that's 10 per side. Now we're going to end it with a little bit of mobility, all right? So we're going to do 10 squat walk-ups. Let me know when you're at 5, please. So this is a good reset drill for us. Again, after doing 2 main movements at the beginning, always good to toss a little bit of mobility in there. You know how much we love mobility here at Experity. So why not toss it into a little bit of your strength work, okay? Awesome. Confuse yourself there a little bit. So you guys are gonna notice, even when Jay was walking out and while he's maintaining his jump right now, his hips aren't dipping down, right? He's not tossing his hips forward. He still jumps out, has his hips nice and stable, squeezing at his core, and then popping it back in, all right? Nice. Very explosive. 10. All right. So, grab a quick breather, everybody. We're going to be coming at you for your last block of the day. 3 rounds there, all right? Whew. Okay, so kicking off into your last block for the day, we're going to be completing 3 rounds of this, all right? So you guys can typically do 2 to 5 rounds of this. We love upper body because it is your upper body core circuit to end, right? We love push-ups, so we're going to be doing 3 rounds of this bad boy. You guys can do 2 to 5. Again, if you guys want to do those extra few rounds, feel free to take some time afterwards to complete those extra rounds, if you guys would like to. Okay, so kicking off 2 main movements, we have our push-up to cross crawl. All right, we're going to do 10 reps of that, and then we're going to simply end it with dead bugs. All right, to give us a little bit of a breather in between that upper body. We're going to do some mobility and core work. All right, that dead bug's going to be done for 5 on each side. All right, so Jay, let's break it down to the 4 for that push up to cross crawl, right? So right now, Jay has a nice push-up plank position. Again, wrists are stacked right underneath his shoulders, keeping his core nice and tight. He's simply going to draw his chest into the floor. Perfect. Squeezing at his shoulder blades, pushing up at the top. Then he's going to take a cross crawl. So he's going to draw his elbow towards his opposite knee. Perfect. And then he's going to alternate on the next side. So that's 1. Okay, so again, draw his chest down, pressing up at the top, cross, cross. Perfect. Take a quick breather, right? So main thing that we like to focus on when going into our push-ups, right, is keeping our elbows pinned in at 45 degrees. Jay is particular about this. Whenever he sees you guys do your push-ups, he likes to see that 45-degree angle. We always say make an arrow with your arms opposed to making a T, right? If we push our elbows out a little bit too wide, puts a lot of pressure on our shoulder, no bueno, all right? Next movement up, we're going to have for our dead bugs. Now, if you guys have not watched our dead bug videos just yet, you need to, because they're good, and Paul cries every time he finds out that someone didn't watch any one of his videos, so don't hurt his feelings, all right? So all 4s are up in the air, heels are slightly, perfect, stacked behind his hips. He's going to go opposite to opposite, perfect. He's extending this heel back right through here, pushing this heel up towards the ceiling, reaching far back, closing up at the top, and then alternating. Perfect, and then bringing it forward. So nothing fancy on this one, all right? So just something to really kind of bring us down after that big push-up block that we just did. We're going to do 5 per side, no pause today. just be sure to stay engaged throughout your dead bug. Don't flail around this whole entire time. All right? Blah, 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 blah. Perfect. So we're going to go for 3 rounds of this bad boy, all right? So we're starting off with 10 push-ups to cross crawl. 3, 2, 1. Let's hit it. So much fun. Pristine. Right now, Jay's doing a great job of keeping his core nice and tight, even when he goes down into his push-up, right? So we're not having that banana boat coming down, right? We're not drawing our hips into the floor first. He's drawing his chest down into the floor, keeping his core nice and tight. Remember, if you guys are not able to do your push-ups on the floor, you guys can take it to an elevated surface and still do this cross-crawl position at the same time. Again, whether it's sofa, countertop, or stairs. All right. So, Jay's taking it down into his dead bugs. Again, all 4s are up in the air. We're going to go 5 per side, all right? Perfect. So reaching back, those fingertips, extending that heel forward. Now, the whole entire time, remember, this heel at the top, it's not just sitting there, right? We're trying to push that heel up. There you go. So when Jay pushes that heel up, you're going to notice that his legs start to shake a ton. That's what we want, right? Whole body is engaging, right? From the fingertips down to the heel that is up in the ceiling and up away from him. Perfect. Good. Good. There you go. Awesome. All right, let's take a quick 15 seconds, all right, Jay? So we're going to take a quick little 15-second break. We're going to pick up our next 2 rounds, all right? So that first round was really good by Jay. Let's see how he does with his next 2. You know, Jay, like whenever Jay has to do like cross the body things, you'll see, you've been doing good so far, dude, so keep it up. All right, here we go. Starting up, round number 2. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Again, drawing that chest down into the floor. Keep your core nice and tight, squeezing the glutes. Again, our core wraps from I always say, the front of our body, the lower back, and our glutes also help engage at our core as well. So if we're not engaging our glutes, oftentimes we're not engaging our core fully. So for sure, always pull that belly button in, zip it up, squeeze your glutes. Jay's looking good so far, getting that nice cross body movement going on. See a little bit of a tricep pump, so I'm getting kind of jealous, but okay. Awesome. Nice, easy 10 reps there. Coming up, we're going to be doing 5 per side of a dead bug, all right? So, bills forward, everybody. All 4s up, and we're engaging through. Now, remember, the whole entire time when we go into something like a dead bug, right? We always want to be sure that our lower back is being pressed into the floor. Oftentimes, when we do a dead bug, get a little bit of that back arch. We were to slide our hands underneath your backs. It shouldn't be easy for us to get it underneath it, right? You want to create that nice little back press into the floor. Again, really drawing your belly button down to the floor. And engaging. Nice. Whew. 5 per side, everybody. Not too bad. Quick little breather. We're going to engage through for our last little bit of work. And that's all we're going to have for you guys. I have not been able to look at any of our live comments, but hopefully you guys are enjoying it so far. Drop us a thumbs up if you're enjoying watching Jay complete this whole entire workout, or if you guys like to switch up. Usually it's me and Paul on the floor. Today it's me and Jay. Bro. All right, you ready for this last round? All right, check them out. Let's get them rocking and rolling. Here we go. Starting up in 2, 1. Last solid round. Now, Jay's push-ups really good. Again, keeping that 45-degree angle at his elbows, not pulling them out. Again, form couldn't be better. I got hit with a thumbs up. That's awesome. Thank you, Paul. Dude, Paul, as always, is leading by example. Thank you for dropping some thumbs up. Awesome. Jay, I'm going to give you half of these thumbs up because you're doing a lot of work. I'll bless you, son. I'm bless you with some. All right. So, last little bit of the workout, everybody. We're going 5 per side, all right, of the step. Let's go. So this is a lot a lot for us to kind of take in, right? We're doing a lot cross body work. Again, we did the cross crawls. Now we're going for our deadlifts, right? So with opposite, working the opposite really helps our brain kind of focus in, working a lot of that kind of that focus when we go into these kind of movements. So we're flexing a little bit of our brain muscles along with someone called full body muscles, right? Jay's pain face is going on, so he's tired. All right, good, awesome. Well, that is your day 2 workout for this week. It was awesome having you guys along with us for the ride. Jay, you look like me after, Paul gives me like, the dead bug drills and everything. But I think we're pretty good for today. As always, have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Stay safe, stay free. Pyaw.